Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to me trying to read every single lost episode creepypasta that I can get my hands on. Today, we'll be reading The Adventures of Paddy the Pelican, Episode 7, The Lost Father. Now, I'm going to be fully transparent with you. This is my second reading of it. We had a little audio mishap, and hopefully it has been taken care of by now. So please try to enjoy our reading of Adventures of Paddy the Pelican, Episode 7, The Lost Father. Hello, everyone. So recently I've discovered the lost episode of Adventures of Paddy the Pelican. Before I explain the entire episode, I have to tell you how I got this lost episode. Discovering of the lost episode. My father used to work in a Walt Disney production studio. There, he met someone named Sam Singer. They became best friends quickly. My father always said that he was a chill guy and funny. Loves to dance around, and sometimes he was a little drunk. He even told me that Sam Singer shared some of his Paddy the Pelican Adventures episodes. I asked my father to give me some of these episodes, which he kindly did, and I put them inside of a box. After that, I brought them into my room and watched them. At first, I liked them before, and it was fun for me. At the time, I was like 7 years old when I watched these episodes. After watching them all, I returned them back into the box and put them into the basement. 9 years later, my father sadly passed away at the age of 89 in 2007. After 16 years, I decided to go to the basement and look at some old days until finding a tape that I haven't seen before. It didn't have a title on it or anything. I picked the TV and plugged it in. I inserted the tape, and now we can talk about the entire episode. The episode. So, the episode starts with the intro, but there is something new on it. The music wasn't exactly the same. No laughter or narrator. Just the background music distorted. After the intro, a scene appeared where Paddy the Pelican wakes up and a brick is thrown at him, but he dodged it. This was clearly a reused scene of the episode of Piggy Bank Robbery, but when he turned his head around, it cut to a lab coat pelican frame in a split second before it went to a black screen. It was totally silent and nothing happened. 22 seconds later, it went back to Paddy, but he was flying, which was another reused scene. But what was different was that their eyes were looking straight at me before cutting back to a black screen. After around 10 seconds, everything turned white and a bed appeared. A new character was on the bed. It was Paddy's dad. He seemed to be old and kinda sick. The background music was also strange as well, as I could hear. It was the episode music, but this time it was distorted and low. Suddenly, Paddy entered the scene with flowers in his hands. I was shocked when he said this. "Hey Dad, how's the day going? I hope you will be fine after leaving this hospital. I love you so much. I'm going to miss you a lot." Those words were exactly the same as I said with my father before he died. After that scene, it cut to black once again, until it went back to the same scene in 5 seconds. This time, the bed disappeared and Paddy wasn't there. It cut to a different scene where Paddy the Pelican was standing in front of a grave crying and holding some flowers. The scene cut and Paddy the Pelican wasn't there anymore. Just 2 flowers on the grave. Finally, in the last scene, everything was just a white background, but a message appears saying, "Hey, before I die in this bed, I would like to say I'm going to miss you a lot, son. I will always watch you in heaven. I'm happy to see you growing and being a great father to you. I'm very proud of you." After that text, it cuts to black and goes to the end scene. Finally, the episode ended. After watching it, I was crying in tears. Cannot believe he made this entire episode as his last message. At the hospital before, I couldn't talk with him at his final moment since he was sleeping, and the doctors told me I could only give him the flower I had before. At last, I took the lost episode in my room and saved it. I decided to write a note and go to graveyard. There, I left the note on his grave in following words. "Hey Dad, I just wanted to say that I'm very sorry for that moment when I visited you in the hospital and didn't talk to you, but the doctor told me I couldn't stay with you and just allowed me to give you the flowers. After watching that episode, I just want to say thank you, Dad. Thank you so much for that. I don't understand. You don't understand the happiness I have right now seeing those words. I hope I can see you again. Goodbye, Dad. And, that's the creepypasta. Even reading it through the second time, I don't understand. We have a part where it says, I was like 7 years old when I watched those episodes, and then 9 years later, his father passed away at 89, and I'm just confused because as it reads, they were 7 when he got the episodes from his dad, and 9 years later, he'd be 16 when his dad passed away. 16 years after that, he went back into the basement. So he's like 32, but I don't think that was intended. I think this was supposed to be like he was 40 to 50 maybe and going back and reminiscing. I can't tell for sure because it's not written particularly well. And another issue I have is the ending. Just the ending itself. Well, mostly the creepypasta, but the ending itself. Because it's stated here that, his father clearly had to have made this before his passing. But the scene of him going and seeing his dad in the hospital and saying, "Hey, Dad, how's the day going? I hope you'll be fine after leaving this hospital." I don't think he would have had the time to make this episode. And so, unless the father was able to get someone and say, "Hey, I want you to memorialize this in an episode of Paddy the Pelican because that's my son's favorite cartoon as a child," if that wasn't the case, this just seems like a point of mockery, where it's like encapsulating the loss of our narrator's father and just a taunt. But the narrator doesn't take it that way and is genuinely like, "My dad made this before he passed away," which, I mean, I wouldn't want to have that. I pass away for my kids is just like, "Hey, remember when I died? Remember the regret you have of not being able to talk to me?" Yeah, me too. The ending is very strange. The creepypasta, like, not all creepypastas have to be blood, guts, and gore. And not all lost episodes have to be blood, guts, and gore. But this was just strange. This was just weird, and I don't like. It's a 2 out of 10 for me personally, because I don't get it and I don't like it. That being said, let me know how you guys felt about this in the comment section. And I will do my best to get you another creepypasta relatively quickly. But that being said, I think this is the perfect time for saying bye-bye for now. Bye!